If you keep doing that a bunch, you're gonna generate wealth, and then maybe you reserve some of your capital for saying, okay, I'm gonna do this one. Like this is reserved for like 10x gains. So Solana is working on a program that's gonna allow a series of accounts to be written into one account and presented as a Merkle root and proofs.
Hey everyone, a very good morning, and I'm here at the Solana Hacker House, Delhi, and I'm with Kyle from Holaplex.
Hey
Kyle, great to have you.
Thanks, great to be here.
Unemployed TechBros. And so, starting with the first question, what exactly is Holaplex? Right?
Yes, Holaplex is an open source collection of NFT solutions for Solana. We follow a enterprise model where we take those open source products and we onboard large Fortune 500 companies into Solana. We fund the open source projects with those clients. We build for them very customized NFT solutions from marketplaces that also pull together some of the best protocols around the NFT space to make a holistic solution for them depending on what their criteria are. But at the heart of it, we are building open source NFT solutions for Solana. That's what we're most proud of.
Yeah, so I'm also an open source contributor. So the problem that I see with open source is it's very hard to monetize an open source model. How is Holaplex monetizing this? What is your business model?
Yeah, my colleague Abhishek, which might be another great person to interview, presented on open source as a superpower. And there's a few different business models there. Again, ours is like an enterprise model where we have a direct business-to-business arm that is looking for large brands out there. Like we're talking, Pepsi's, Starbucks's, major brands that that have no understanding of Web3 but want to come into it. And Solana is the best positioned blockchain for large mass adoption. So we get contracts with them to build them solutions, but we dog food the open source products that we make. And we get larger returns on our investment from those clients as we've built out more and more open source solutions that we can quickly bring together and ship for them.
Sure, awesome. So as you said, Solana is the best place to build at scale. So what makes you say that? What are the points?
Yeah, what are the big wins for Solana?
Yeah.
The largest one is the right throughput. Customers are used to clicking around Amazon, purchasing everything, and that taking a couple milliseconds to complete. Unfortunately, even Solana isn't at that scale, but it is at a few seconds to submit a transaction, which is the best speed available in Web3 right now, and hopefully that just continues to grow and grow and grow. And then there's the cost of the transaction. The other meme around is Solana's the poor man's blockchain, and that's a good meme. That means that it's a lot more open to folks because gas is really, really low.
There's no entry barrier.
There's no entry barrier. You can get a few SOL, even one SOL if you're just looking to do transactions that aren't purchasing and sending money to someone. But we have a graph program that lets you do on-chain followers. It's a fraction of a cent to make a connection to someone, and it's only 5,000 lamp words to actually submit that on-chain. So you're not burning your precious soul by just submitting a transaction, and that's what makes it more approachable, and that's what makes it in a good position to onboard a large user base.
So as you talked about high throughput on Solana and other things, so the main thing that I see is that Solana has kind of improved user experience, right? In a way.
Mm-hmm.
So how is Holaplex looking at the future, and how are you looking at the Solana ecosystem? What are your thoughts?
I just presented a very short while ago on indexing and account indexing.
Yeah.
And there was a little snippet about account compression.
Yes.
So Solana is working on a program that's going to allow a series of accounts to be written into one account and presented as a Merkle root and proofs. It makes for a more complex interaction. The account itself won't contain identification fields like a name and attributes. But it's going to greatly reduce the storage costs. And even right now with Solana being fairly cheap, you look at an NFT, it costs about 12 cents to mint. That's at Solana at 30, 35, hopefully when this publishes, maybe ideally 40 for videos, watchers, but that, if it goes back up to when it was at like 200, that becomes quite expensive. So if you really are trying to bring on mainstream, and that also is a lot of storage because each account has overhead. So the more information that we can compact into one account, it allows Solana to grow, right? Like right now, it takes 240 gigs to hold every account on Solana, and Solana is not multi-sharded, so every account in existence needs to be able to fit on one machine. And if it continues to grow at its rate, there isn't going to be RAM that's large enough to hold all the accounts. So compression is needed to sustain and to grow and to be able to like take it to the next level. So I'm really excited about compression. It's going to be trickier for us developers, but in terms of providing a better experience for users, it will, as long as it's done correctly.
So for the viewers who are developers in Web3 or they're just starting out developers, like what's your advice to them for starting out this in Web3 space and the Solana ecosystem?
It's going to be a lot of like research and reading. That's why I think open source is so important because that's the main way that devs get to learn. That's the main way that I learn is to go look at programs that are open source. So you have the whole Solana program library, which if you are coming in, like first off, like go look at the Solana program library to see what it's like to write a vanilla Solana contract. It's going to be pretty daunting. But give them a read and try to understand it, and then you can go and move over to Engg, which is like a framework for writing smart contracts on Solana that has a way more ergonomic layout to doing so. But Engg is going to be your main toolkit. Looks like I'm sure y'all should link some of the like docs and helper guides.
Link them in the description, and maybe moving on, you can contribute to Holaplex, right?
Yes. All our code's open source, so like even if you're trying to do an NFT marketplace, we have full reference implementations for that.
So make sure to check out Holaplex, and like moving on to the next segment, we will be reacting to some memes.
Okay. Hopefully I'm aware of like what all the hot memes are. When the world is going crazy as fuck.
How many times have you done that? I just buy the dip.
Well, I've been doing that. I mean, it's like you gotta have like a long-term play. So I don't buy the dip on like NFTs. I do it more on just like Sol itself or like the coin itself. But the dip. Oh, because he's buying like guacamole dip.
Yeah.
That's side.
So it has ever happened something like that, like you buy the dip and then it keep dipping.
Yes. It's almost like you want to buy when it starts ticking back up, but I mean honestly, like you can't forgo it. You buy what you can and you like hold on to it long term because it's not about like what happens tomorrow. It's like what happens like 10 or 20, like 10, 15 years from now.
Do your own research.
Don't take mine.
Moving on.
Yeah, this one I see so much.
Sell one like a new model.
I see this one like people are too greedy. I mean, I'm not trying to be like philosophical. It's supposed to be funny, but like this one does pop up. Like I would say like take the profit that you get. Like don't try to like go for 10x. Go for like 2 or 3x, and be like happy with that. Like if you keep doing that a bunch, you're gonna generate wealth. And then maybe you reserve some of your capital, but say, okay, I'm going to do this one. Like this is reserved for like 10x gains. But
this is life-changing advice. Don't be too greedy.
Don't be too greedy. No way. Don't like. Yeah, I would say take the gains. And don't.
Okay, I think that's the end.
Okay.
Thank you, Guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great talking to you. So I will paste Kyle's Twitter and Holaplex open source repo in the description, and make sure to check them out and contribute to it. And this is Unemployed TechBros. Thank you.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe.